I told you that there is nothing wrong with you? How would you feel? If there was nothing wrong with you, then there's nothing that you need to change. There's no goals that you need to attain. You're already successful, and there's no point in ascending. Ooh, what would you do then? Let's talk about that. Hi, it's Laura Giles. Thanks for tuning in to Pan Society, and I would like to talk about the idea that you are already perfect. What if that were true? Now, that could be a radical thought. You know, we're always moving towards growth. We're focused on ascending, those kinds of things. But this is also the kind of thinking that gets people selling you stuff. They provoke your fear and think that you're not going to be good enough, you're not going to be successful enough, you're not going to be the best that you can be if you don't buy something, if you don't change something, if you don't do something. And this idea that there's something wrong with you, I think, or wrong with us, is pretty damaging. So let's think about this, okay, from an animist perspective. If everything is one and everything is divine, then what do you have to change? Everything's really not about being somewhere different, doing something different. It's really just about being here, experiencing what you're experiencing. So for example, here's what I mean. So, you know, everybody loves their first love, and I did too. And when that relationship ended, I was crushed. And I was really depressed. For the first time in my life, or the only time in my life actually, I was just really depressed. And the reason why I stayed depressed is because I didn't want to feel those feelings. And so the more that I pushed them away, the deeper that it went and the darker that it got, and the more that I stayed there. And then once I was like, you know, I don't want to feel this anymore, and I want to feel different, then I stopped resisting it, and I felt things, and it went away. I didn't go on any medications, didn't do any therapies. I just decided to live, to be present. And I'm not saying that this is going to work for you. I'm just saying, you know, there's a different way to think about it. And so there was really nothing wrong. What was going on was just a reflection of reality. So I was not liking where it was. I was not liking that the relationship ended. I was not liking that it was sad. And that resistance is what created the pain. And the pain was a perfect reflection of where I was. And we see this in moon circles all the time. So the energy in the universe is not always harmonious, and that's purposeful. It's there to show us when we are out of sync, when we're not flowing in nature. And when we're not in flow, it hurts. And when we are in flow, then it's just something that happens. It's something that's happening to other people because it's not tweaking us to get in alignment. So that's what I kind of mean by everything is good and there's nothing wrong with you. If you're feeling, if you're participating, then you're exactly where you need to be. So you might think about, you know, what is it that I really want to change? If I'm not successful enough, then maybe what I need to change is my definition of success. If I'm not awakened enough, then maybe what I need to do is pay more attention. So there's really nothing wrong. Don't let anybody sell you stuff. Don't let anybody tell you that you're not enough. Don't let people judge you. You're perfect just the way that you are. And when we celebrate that, we become more alive. And for me, that's what it's all about to be here. It's about experiencing this life. And you can't really experience it in its fullness if you don't have dark times. Imagine being in the light all the time. That would be kind of boring to me. Imagine being happy all the time. I had a client tell me the other day, you know, why can't I just be happy all the time? I'm like, girl, you bought into the fairy tale. There's no happily ever after. You have to have darkness to know the light. So, you know, just enjoy where you are. Not saying that I don't want you to be happy. I do want you to be happy. I want you to be fabulously happy. And I think the best way to do that is just to be where you are. When you love where you are and see the beauty in where you are, then you can be happy. Think about this. When we look at perfection and we look at all these things that make things click, like people, for example, beauty is defined by, and from person to person, is symmetry. Okay? And so when a person is symmetrical, we are attracted to that. And you know why we're attracted to that? It's because it's a sign of health. When you're healthy, so your mom was healthy when you were conceived, you were had a really great nutritious environment, then your features are symmetrical. And we're attracted to that because it furthers the species. So if two healthy people get together and they have healthy babies, then we're more likely to survive. But there's a little catch to this, because we all like a little quirk. So if you notice that, well, here, so there is this, there's probably lots of examples of this, but I'm thinking of one in particular. There's this Hollywood actress who had a very distinctive feature. And she wasn't what you would call beautiful. She wasn't symmetrical. And so she had plastic surgery to make herself more symmetrical. And you know what happened? She looked like everybody else. And she just blended in, and she wasn't distinctive anymore. So these things that make us distinctive, and these things that make us quirky, and these things that make us are really important to our identities. They're reflections of us. So think about that before you go changing things. Maybe you are perfect just the way you are. Love to hear your take on it. Drop me a comment, and hope that you like, share, and subscribe. It really does help us. And see you on the next Pam video. Thanks. Bye.